been a terror attack in Boulder, Colorado during a pro-Israel protest. FBI Director Kash Patel, we are aware of and fully investigating a targeted terror attack in Boulder, Colorado. Our agents and local law enforcement are on the scene, and we will share updates as more information becomes available. What happened? What happened? 2 hours ago, terror attack in Boulder, multiple Israeli demonstrators set on fire. What the fuck? By unknown suspect, multiple victims, including children. What the fuck? But why? Fucking why? Why did this happen? Why would someone do this? Terror attack burns Jewish children alive in Boulder, Colorado. Children set on fire in targeted assault on Jewish protesters. A terror attack in Boulder, Colorado has resulted in multiple Israelis being attacked with fire. The incident left several victims, including children, badly injured. Protesters were reportedly calling for Hamas to release the hostages. What the actual fuck? Terror attack in Boulder, Colorado against Jewish and activists during a run for their lives to release the hostages held by Hamas in Gaza. Injured on the scene, including children. This is what globalize the intifada means. Terror attack after terror attack. I mean, that's true. The FBI and local law enforcement report that they are responding to a possible terror attack targeting Israeli supporters in Boulder, Colorado. Bystanders report that some kind of incendiary device was thrown at the group by an unidentified male, setting several of them on fire and resulting in serious burns. The suspect appears to have been detained and arrested by Boulder police.
Oh my fucking god!
Stay.
I'm gonna put that down because I don't want to accidentally show anything. But like, why would you do this? Especially children, man. Like, I never understand. Like, especially when school shootings happen. Like, why target children? It doesn't make any sense. I don't know. Why would you do this? It's soft targets and it sends fear. I mean, even if it's soft targets, like, it doesn't help your cause, right? Like, no terror attack is gonna help your cause, as it were. But when you go after children, you just, like, make everyone pissed off. Like, no one is gonna agree with you or think what you're doing is okay, right? So, it continuously escapes me why people fucking do this shit. I'm trying to make sense of crazy people. That's what your brain does, though, right? Like you kind of want to make sense of things that don't make sense. You want to try and figure out, like, why fucking people do this shit, you know? Starting to go from not my dirt to glass the terrorists. This is why, like, when Asmongold said what he said about, you know, the conflict, like, yeah, it might have been kind of fucking out of pocket, but the average person is just like, yeah, I don't give a shit what's going on there. That's like the average person's mentality. Like, they don't know what's going on. They don't care. This is a response to Kash Patel's post. Bro is carrying molotov cocktails around. Imagine carrying around molotov cocktails to just whip at children because you're fucking scum of the earth, dude. That is crazy. It's a Redditor. Watch live. Boulder police evacuate several blocks after attack with multiple victims. An organizer with Run for Their Lives, which holds weekly walks to raise awareness of Israeli hostages, told 9 News 5 people were burned in the attack. Boulder police are investigating a report of an attack with multiple victims Sunday afternoon. Miri Cornfield, an organizer with Run for Their Lives, which holds weekly walks to raise awareness of Israeli hostages, told 9 News the group was walking on Pearl Street on Sunday afternoon. When they arrived at the historic courthouse in the area of the 13th and Pearl Streets, a man was walking there with bottles, Cornfield said. He threw the bottles and 5 people were burned, including one woman who was badly burned and had to roll on the ground to put the fire out. The victims were taken to the hospital. Cornfield said it appeared the perpetrator had been detained. UC Health University of Colorado Hospital in Aurora said that they have received 2 patients from the attack. As of 3:30 p.m., police had evacuated the area bordered by Broadway to the west, Pine Street to the north, 16th Street to the east, and Walnut to the south. Pretty big square. Boulder police said that they will hold a news conference at 4 p.m. Sunday.
Good evening.
Headed to the podium here.
Thank
I'm going to make sure this is like completely muted here.
My name is Deanna Wall. I'm the public information officer for the Boulder Police Department. We are in the very
Apparently the guy's name is Mohamad Soliman. That's not going to help us figure out whether he's German or Middle Eastern anymore.
Hold on, Steve.
Good afternoon, everyone. As Dion said, my name is Stephen Redfern. I serve as the police chief here in Boulder, Colorado. Today I'm here to give you very preliminary information about an attack that occurred here in downtown Boulder at about 1:26 p.m. today. At that time, Boulder Dispatch received several calls to the county courthouse located at
I like how this is so impromptu that they have like duct taped 2 lapel mics to some sort of pole here.
1325 Pearl Street here in Boulder. The initial callers indicated that there was a man with a weapon and that people were being set on fire. The initial response by our officers, we were on scene very quickly. When we arrived, we encountered multiple victims that were injured with injuries consistent with burns and other injuries. While our officers and paramedics and fire department personnel got those victims quickly to the hospital, our officers were pointed out, a suspect was pointed out to our officers on the scene. Our officers immediately encountered that suspect who was taken into custody without incident.
See, and like, again, if people had had a firearm here, not only would they have been able to prevent a bit of damage potentially, but then we don't have to waste our tax dollars bringing this guy through a trial. He's already taken care of. He's taken out like the garbage that he is. Phoenix DS, thank you for the Canadians, dude. Anyone that defends this deplorable action has a mental illness and should not be allowed to vote. Fucking hard agree, dude. Hard agree. Here's the problem. The guy who shoots the motherfucker would have been arrested because Colorado is a far left state. I mean, they probably would have been. But imagine the level of support. They would have raised far more than $700,000 for saying the N-word.
Suspect who I'm not able to ID at this time was taken to the hospital with some minor injuries as well. And there's a lot more we're investigating right now before I'm able to release information on that person. The scene itself is contained, but we have a large area here in downtown Boulder closed off right now. Businesses have been closed and we have asked people to avoid the area. This area is not safe yet. We're dealing with a vehicle of interest. We're dealing with a large area that we are making sure it's safe before we allow people to come back into the scene. If your vehicle is here in the several block perimeter that we have, please follow our social media. We will announce when the roads are open and people can retrieve their vehicle as well. I appreciate everyone's patience as we work through this complex scene. What I will say lastly is this was a beautiful Sunday afternoon in downtown Boulder on Pearl Street, and this act is unacceptable. I hope you'll join me this evening as we're working through this investigation. We are working, I just came from the command post. We've got dozens and dozens of people here, our state, local, and federal partners working through this to figure out exactly what happened. I ask for a little bit of patience as we do that, but also I ask that you join me in thinking about our victims, the families of those victims, and everyone involved in this tragedy. Our hearts go out to them, and we are going to do everything we can to work as hard as we can throughout the evening to provide more information and get answers for everyone. With that, as I stated, it would be irresponsible for me to speculate right now on motive and other things. I will take maybe a handful of questions, but then I've got to go back to a briefing.
I had a quick one.
Yes, Sean.
Was an actual protest going on when this occurred? Were a group of people gathered and were...
I can kind of understand why he's just like, I can't speak to the motive right now, but it's like, I feel like it's pretty obvious, you know? I get, as an official capacity, he can't say anything yet, but like, you know, this act is unacceptable. If he were British, you just assume it was customary restraint. I mean, it is unacceptable. And like, I saw a few people being like, well, if he hadn't told me that, I would have thought burning people alive was completely fine. It's like, some people will probably defend this because they're insane. So, I mean, the guy was just shouting it. Yeah, it was political. Absolutely. If the police ascribe motive without evidence, that won't help at the trial. Yeah, exactly. Like, I understand why an official capacity person has to say that. Good Lord. Once there was a sense, and now we have diaper fetishes. Jesus Christ.
Words said that would indicate this had anything at all to do with that protest.
So what I will tell you, on Pearl Street, it's a walking pedestrian mall downtown here. There was a lot of people out. Very beautiful day. There was a group of pro-Israel people that were there in a peaceful demonstration. I wouldn't even call it a protest. I believe that happens frequently down here. They were there in that area. We are looking and actively interviewing victims and witnesses to determine if that group was targeted or others, and we just don't have those answers yet. Those are things we hope to be able to provide you later this evening.
FBI is already calling it a targeted terror attack. Would you also refer to it as a terror attack?
So I've been in contact with our local FBI multiple times. We are in contact with them here. We are not calling it a terror attack at this point. Again, it's way too early to speculate motive. I know there's a lot out there on social media, but I ask people just to give us a little bit of patience while we work through a really complex scene. A lot of witnesses were here. We've taken them to another location to debrief them and interview them. As we do that, I think the picture will become more clear. But it would be irresponsible for me to speculate on motive this early on. We're only a couple hours into this thing.
About the suspect, can you confirm the description about him? Because we know any picture running in social media.
I haven't seen it, and I wasn't here when he was arrested. All I know is it's an adult male. We're working to identify that person. We're working to figure out where they're from, and we're in contact with our federal partners as well as we figure that out.
Was something thrown at the group?
That is being investigated as well. So our initial call, as I mentioned, was a report that someone was setting people on fire. That is fairly consistent with the injuries.
Again, I understand why he has to phrase things this way, but I feel like if you're like a reporter and you're reporting on this stuff, you should be able to be like, yes, he was holding bottles, he was throwing, something into the crowd that resulted in people being lit on fire. It resulted in bodily damage to these people. And you could say a lot more that you see with your eyes as a reporter than you can as like an official police officer capacity.
Found on scene, but we're not 100% certain how that happened, and that's what we're doing to interview. There's a lot of witnesses that we're interviewing. I suspect within this evening, we'll have a better idea of exactly how those injuries occurred.
Are you guys going to have additional security for Jewish and Israeli people helping the hostages in the circle right now? Because this is a weekly occurrence, are you guys going to now have some additional security measures to protect Jews in Boulder?
So what I will say is, again, I cannot confirm right now that this was targeted at a specific group of people. We understand that there's a lot of tensions right now and a lot of issues in the United States and everywhere. Once we have a clear motive, we will react accordingly. And if that motive was a group was targeted, we will absolutely step up and ensure that additional security, additional presence.
I think anyone with eyeballs can see that it was definitely targeted.
How many people were injured?
I don't have an exact number. What I will say is multiple. I can confirm that Boulder Community Hospital received multiple patients, and some of those patients were transferred to other hospitals. Right now, we have detectives working to find out specifically the number. Again, hopefully later this evening we'll have an exact number. Right now, I'll just say multiple. Take one more question.
Any life-threatening injuries?
I believe so. What I'm being told is there are a range of injuries from very serious to more minor. And again, I just am. My heart goes out to those victims, and we're keeping them in our thoughts, prayers, and minds as they recover. I got to go back to the command post.
Can you save this call? And I'll tell you.
And we saw this part. This was where I actually clicked into the live broadcast. It doesn't look like there's a
step by step and
bar.
say what we know and then what our reporting has told us. Again, we know that at least 5 people were injured is what groups on the ground tell us there. We know that 2 people were taken to UC Health in what Boulder Police Chief Stephen Redford is saying is in a variance of conditions, some potentially life-threatening is what he is believing. But again, this is very early on in the investigation.
We know that a suspect has been arrested, an adult male. They've not identified this man yet, and the police chief says he's not ready to point to any specific motives. He's not even ready to call this a targeted terror attack yet. Worth noting, the FBI already is. These are questions we are asking.
I was going to say, what the fuck do you mean by that? What other reason for attacking Israelis trying to get hostages released would there be? Come the fuck on, dude.
What does not safe yet mean? The police chief says there is a vehicle of interest in that area, and they're doing other investigative work at this time.
So we're still working to find out exactly, again, what happened here. So Boulder Police Chief Stephen Redfern has said that there was a group in the area that was marching in support of Israel and Israeli hostages being held in Gaza. As we take a look at new scene video from here in Boulder with a large police presence, obviously bomb squad and SWAT teams moving in through the area. This is right in the heart of Boulder, right on Pearl Street there. We do know, however, from our reporting that there was a group called Run for Their Lives, which holds marches in both Denver and Boulder on a weekly basis every Sunday afternoon. And they do so in support of Israeli hostages being held in Gaza right now. One of the organizers, I spoke with her just about 30 minutes ago, says that they were in the area at the time when they believed that their group was targeted by a man who was holding what looked to be Molotov cocktails or some sort of flammable object in a bottle. And from that group, the March from Their Lives group that was holding that pro-Israeli or march to raise awareness for Israeli hostages, they believed that they were targeted.
Kiwis have a video?
It was taken to a
I wish I had my gun with me. I'd do it.
Why would you leave home without it, especially going to a protest like this? That's dangerous! This guy tried to kill it. Why did you put these emojis here, man?
It's really odd to see it just completely quiet, but as we
All right. So if there's another video, definitely link that up.
In this area, we're about less than a half mile from where they said that incident scene was at the courthouse. But again, it's really, really quiet over here. Really just a lot of police officers pacing back and forth. Lots of fire
Stray
trucks.
Wolf link? Yeah, that's the one that's Stray
down the
Wolf
street
linked.
from us. But this entire block is just pretty closed off. No one's really around here unless you have to come get
There's
your
another
car
one?
that you park down here.
He looks fucking crazy, dude.
We're here, brother. We're here. We can't do nothing about that. We can't do nothing. We can!
Oh, he's got an accent. He's got an accent, and he kind of looks like that celebrity chef that killed himself a few years ago. What was that guy? Was that Anthony Bourdain? He kind of looks like that guy. Johnny Bravo is old and has a pot belly. Don't compare this fucking piece of shit to Johnny Bravo, you freak.
He's taking video right now. He was wearing an orange suit with like something on his back.
Spraying alcohol,
Spraying alcohol, but what he did was he made it look like he was here.
He's making Molotov cocktails. Well, we can't do it when he's got Molotov cocktails in there. If you are fighting, you have to. That's what he's got right.
Is that a German accent? Is this a literal fucking German attacking Israelis? What the fuck?
Here is Molotov. They are killers. Get back, Mom. How many children?
I'm gonna let it play again so we can hear his accent.
We can't do nothing about that. We can't do nothing. We can. Not here. You have to answer this. Not here, bro. You're not.
He's taking video right now. He was wearing an orange suit with like something on his back.
Spraying alcohol.
Spraying alcohol, but what he did was he made it look like he was here.
He's making Molotov cocktails. And for us. Well, we can't.
See, it's the way he does like the sounds when he's talking that makes me think probably German. But like I guess it could also be, you know, some form of like a Slavic bloc. I see a few of you guys saying like maybe Middle Eastern. Maybe. I just the way that he's make it sound German to me. More video of the suspect who firebombed.
Stay away. Stay away. He's right there. He's throwing Molotov cocktails right there.
It's kind of insane to me that there's so many people here and not a single one had a firearm to take out the guy.
Where you fucking belong! And you going to jail, man! I don't give a fuck! You don't antagonize shit like that! You cause this shit!
What? Why is this like fucking pot-bellied homeless person yelling at the protesters saying they caused it? What the fuck is wrong with him?
Right! He didn't do anything! Chill. I don't want to hear it! Everybody get back! Everybody get back! Everybody get back! He's right there. He's on the ground right there. Who was the person that got attacked? Right here. This guy right here. I wasn't even here. No, this guy is the one. He's got.
Oh, that cop had a nice firearm though. Hire armed security for your events. Yeah, I feel like at this point, you know, certain groups of people holding events should absolutely be getting armed security. Suspect identified. So here's from Nick Sortor. Suspect identified as Mohamad Soliman in the Boulder terror attack shows he was shouting pro-Palestine propaganda with a thick accent. This is why we need mass deportations. These people should not be here. Multiple victims have been life-flighted from the area and the man has been taken into custody. The FBI has officially said this was a targeted attack. I think we saw both of those 2 videos. Here is a picture of him just hanging out there. He's got like chia pet hair. Mohamad Soliman arrested over terror attack in Boulder involving petrol bombs targeting pro-Israeli protesters. Okay, so they weren't fucking Molotovs. They were petrol bombs, which I guess, you know, potato. Several injured, including children. Justice must be served. FBI is investigating. Horrified by today's terror attack. Thank you, Governor Phil Murphy. Multiple people injured in the terror attack. Get used to it, USA. Everything has a price. FBI investigating targeted terror attack. What did they mean by this? What do they mean by get used to it? Everything has a price. What do they mean by that?
To both the Boulder Community Hospital and then transfer to other area hospitals. But we do know, as he said, the injuries range from minor to life-threatening. Again, we don't have an exact number of people who have been hurt, but there are some people here who have been injured in this attack along the Pearl Street Mall in Boulder who have life-threatening injuries. He also confirmed that one person was taken into custody, an adult man. He is not willing to, at this point, give any other information on that person's identity, of course, because it is an ongoing investigation. As you can see here in this live picture from our crews that are there along the Pearl Street Mall, you can see Boulder Police still very much investigating this area. You can see crime tape up and around parts of those businesses and areas of what is normally a very busy and, quite frankly, beautiful part of Boulder, the Pearl Street Mall. The Boulder Police Chief telling us, quote, that area is not safe yet. This is a very complex investigation. They have agencies from the state, local, and federal level that are part of this ongoing investigation as to what the FBI is calling a targeted terror attack. They are also looking at a vehicle of interest, which is why this is still a very active scene. Now, this also is a very active area of Boulder, right? The Pearl Street Mall. So the Boulder Police Chief said if you were in that area, your vehicle was in that area, and then you were part of that massive evacuation zone, but your car is still in there. They are aware of that, and they are asking that you follow their social media for any updates on when you might be able to go ahead and retrieve your vehicle. But you're not going to be able to do that for quite some time, as this is a very complex scene and that this is not a safe area yet. We also now have a statement from the Boulder Jewish Community Center on this Pearl Street attack, and it says, quote, we are saddened and heartbroken to learn that an incendiary device was thrown at walkers at the Run for Their Lives walk on Pearl Street as they were raising awareness for the hostages still held in Gaza. We don't have all the details of what is unfolding, and we promise to keep our community informed. Our hearts go out to those who witnessed this horrible attack, and prayers for a speedy recovery to those who were injured. That is a joint statement again from Boulder's Jewish community. Our Jewish governor, Governor Polis, also sharing a very similar statement earlier today, saying that his heart goes out to those who have been injured and impacted by this heinous act of terror. We will be continuing to find more information for you, asking more questions. We have at least two crews there on the ground for you right now. Your reporter, Olivia Young, and your reporter, Andrew Hobner. They will bring us more live coverage on CBS News Colorado at 5 following this attack on Boulder's Pearl Street.
Statement by Israel's ambassador to the UN, Danny Danon, in response. Terror attacks against Jews don't stop at the Gaza border. It's already setting the streets of America on fire. In Boulder, Colorado, Jews marched with a simple moral demand to bring the hostages home, and in response, they were brutally attacked. The assailant threw Molotov cocktails at them. Make no mistake, this is not a political protest, this is terrorism. The time for statements is over. It's time to act against inciters wherever they are. Here's Danny Danon with the statement that I read off earlier. I kind of wish that other person had linked Danny Dannon to saying this. I like it when things are sourced on my Twitter. No Iron Dome in Boulder. What the fuck? I don't trust Colorado, but Kash Patel is also on it. Hopefully our DOJ will push maximum charges. I agree with that. I agree. It's kind of crazy that, like, the FBI is taking something more seriously than the local authorities. Boulder, Colorado authorities have arrested a man by the name of Mohamad Soliman in connection with a possible terror attack on a group of Jews. Soliman was said to have dressed up as a landscaper when he threw molotov cocktails at the group, burning several, including children. Well, I don't know. Maybe he was dressed as a landscaper before he took his shirt off, because I was going to say jeans and no shirt isn't really landscaper attire. Video has emerged of Soliman screaming, "End Zionists" and "Palestine is free." According to his now deleted LinkedIn, Mohamad Soliman works at Veros Health. Since 10/7, Stop Anti-Semitism has featured dozens upon dozens of anti-Semitic pro-terror individuals working in the healthcare field. Religion of peace, I am told. Mohamad Soliman, staff accountant and inventory control at Veros Health, a hospital and physician's clinic company. Who deleted his LinkedIn? Great question! Next question! You're surprised that there are pro-Israel events in Boulder? You mean their land is free to take? Why didn't you say so? Look, I don't want that problematic clay, man. There's been wars raging for thousands of years in that area. That is not safe clay. You can just say you fucking hate that social media deletes profiles of people who do stuff. If nothing on the profile breaks TOS, it's just hiding background info. Yeah, I agree. I really hate that they, like, immediately start trying to wash people's social media accounts and shit as soon as something bad happens. It's kind of aggravating. It's a little bit suspect. A little bit I don't like it, as it were.